Welcome to another episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure you check out this link up here. It's all about what Shifty Drifty is. It's a lifestyle. It's travel zen. And so that's what we're going to be trying to do in this episode. I'm right now at the northern end of Utah at the beginning point of the Utah Backcountry Discovery Route. That's the Utah BDR. Tomorrow morning early, we're going to start and see how things go. But for tonight, right now, it's time to make some food. Yummy. Good morning. I'm so excited today. I'm going to be doing the Utah BDR, not the entire BDR. I'm going to be doing the last of the section 6. That's the northernmost section of the BDR. And hopefully I can find a really cool epic camp somewhere on a forest road to spend the night tonight. And then I'll just be exploring and stuff, and then eventually I'll pop out. I think Evanston, Wyoming is where this route pops out. I'd love to do the entire, I think it's 478 miles of the Utah BDR. Unfortunately, there are a couple of things that are preventing me from doing that. One is I've got some deadlines for my photography stuff. I've got to hop on that, so I need an actual hotel room. That's sort of a bummer. And then the other thing is really you need some recovery gear, max tracks and a winch and some things like that, because some of the Utah BDR has some deep sand, and then there might be some trees and stuff along the route, and so a saw or maybe even a chainsaw to clear that stuff up. So I was on the forums and things last night, and it looked like my best option is to do section 6, which is what I'm going to do today, and then I might have to rejoin the BDR somewhere in the more southern part of the state. So we'll see how it goes. As I started down the trail, I was in rolling hills and fast-moving dirt roads. Soon, I was in a forest of Douglas fir, blue spruce, birch, maple, pine, and quaking aspen trees. One minute, I was driving through a thick forest, and the next, I was under the wide-open Utah sky, with a road that seemed to stretch forever into the horizon. The scenery was so interesting that I kept forgetting to pay attention to my map. Several times, I missed my turn and found myself having to stop, turn around, and head back in the direction I'd just come. But I didn't really mind this. It was like getting a bonus trip. It gave me double the joy. The road was so nice, I got to see it twice. Eventually, I'd find my way back to the main route and be on my way. Soon, the road climbed into the mountains, and I left the wide open spaces for good. Occasionally, I'd pass a hunter or a camper along the way, but for the most part, I had the road all to myself. Get out of the way. Move it. Move it. Good. Good sheep. I just came around the corner and there are, I don't know, 100 or 200 sheep hanging out. Trying to get them out of the road. They're blocking the way. But clearly I'm on a ranch somewhere. We successfully made it around all the sheep. They didn't want to move. They were tired. All right, on with the show. There are some horses. Clearly not wild horses because they have bridles. Let's see if we can say hi. Pretty hungry, so I found a place to pull off on the side of the road. I'm going to heat up that Kung Poa Chicken I made last night at camp, eat some of that, and then head out and see if I can finish the rest of this section of the BDR today. Some fantastic food here. As I was coming through the roads here, and I have my windows down, I'm hearing a squeak in the back rear of the car. I don't know if it's the left or right side. I couldn't figure that out. And it's not consistent. So I'm not sure what it is. My fear is that the rear bearings are going out. Because it's sort of a eat, 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 which means something is rotating. That's not good news. So that makes me a little nervous to do much more of the BDR than this section until I figure that out. So once I get back to civilization, I'll get the car up on some jacks or a lift and see if I can sort that out. But for now, I'm going to enjoy this delicious lunch. Well, some really good news. That squeak I was hearing in the back turned out to be the emergency brake. And so when I did the ram mount installed, I moved the center console, and I think that pulled the emergency brake cable just enough so that the pads were touching the sides of the drum just a little bit and causing that squeak. And so what I did was I just articulated the emergency brake on and off a couple times. Squeak went away, and so no harm, no foul, no wheel bearings, nothing to worry about. Made it to the summit. You see behind me we have a spectacular view, and so the mountains are behind me over here, and then I'm headed down this way that's into Wyoming for just a little bit back before I get back into Utah. And so I think this is about 10 miles to the end of this section of the Backcountry Discovery Route, and what a pleasure it has been. It's been just really, really wonderful. I was hoping to camp tonight on the BDR, but a wind and rainstorm has come in. It's mostly wind, not so much rain. But in fact, I was trying to record this outside, but the wind was so heavy it was overloading the microphone. So that sort of gives you an idea of how windy it is out there. So instead of just suffering all night with that much wind, I decided to leave the BDR. I'm back on pavement. I'm going to head south to see if I can get out of this storm system and find a good place to camp. I was pretty tired after driving for hours. I spotted a free camping area on the map and decided to get off the road and rest for the night. I later discovered that this was a staging area used by local hunters, and before dark there were a few dozen RVs surrounding me. I didn't mind. I really just needed some rest. Well, I drove a few hours south. I'm south of Provo, so I think I drove about 3 hours, and I found a free camping place in a national park that's just right off of Highway 89. And so that is where this story ends. I'm going to get some sleep. Tomorrow we'll be in Arches National Park and all the really cool desert scenery for the southern part of Utah. I cannot wait. But that is in the next episode. Hey, if you like this stuff, if this is something you're interested in, please subscribe and turn on the bell so you get all the notifications. And leave a comment. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, what you want more of. All that stuff is fantastic and helps the channel out. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you again next time.